April 6, 1917, and the United States took up arms to defend the Allies.
The tremendous crowds which you see gathered outside the Stock Exchange are due to the greatest crash in the history of the New York Stock Exchange in market prices.
He's looking at you, kid.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age we live.
We are now transmitting a black and white picture. By pressing this button, which I now do, the cameras are transmitting a live color picture. When you step before them, you will be making your first appearance on color television from Washington.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream.
All the day long, where the rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie, the riveter, keeps the shop.
Oh, you feel the breeze from the subway? Isn't it delicious?
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
All of these memorable moments in our history occurred within the last 100 years.
Another plane just flew into the second tower. This has to be deliberate, folks.
And one amazing, beautiful woman has lived to see it all. Her name is Palmina di Radoni Pardini, and this is her story.
I was born October 18, 1914 in Pocatello, Idaho. My mom was Teopista, and my dad's name was Amadeo. I am the third oldest of 6 children. I had 1 sister and 4 brothers, and they're all gone. My 2 oldest brothers were born in Italy, and then they had gone to Brazil, and then they went back to Italy, and then my dad come to America. My mom stayed in Italy. Then he sent for her, and then that's where I was born. I was 8 years old. My dad wanted to come to California. He had brothers here, and so we come to California and got a job here. I went to school in Oakland, Prescott. I was very good at school. I had good grades. God, I don't know how old I was at the time. I drew the cathedral in Milan. I drew that on the blackboard, all freehanded, and they liked it so well they kept it there for months and months and never took it off. I was good at art and all of that. And one time, my cousin, she was 5 years older than me. I was just a child then. And she said, let's go downtown. So we went downtown and we went in the 5 and dime. I never had a doll. I did know what Christmas was. Christmas, my mom would put some walnuts, maybe an orange under the pillow. That was my Christmas. Never had a toy. All the kids had toys and everything. Well, anyway, we went in the 5 and dime and I saw this cute little plastic doll. And I took it. And they caught me. What did I know? I just took it. And my cousin said, let's go, you know, because the bell was going off. So I was running away with her, And in Idaho, they had what they call a alley. So we run around from where the store was. We run around and then we went back in the alley. Next thing you know, we run back in the same store. And they caught us. I graduated, was ready to go to high school, but we couldn't afford it. My mom was working and my dad was working, so I'd have to come home and do the cooking. But I went to a continuation school till I was 16, and I had to walk all the way to school and walk all the way back. One day a week, I think it was. And one time, this friend of mine, my mother, she had a daughter my age. Naturally, all her clothes were hand-me-downs for me. She had given me a pair of alligator shoes. So I wore them to the school. I was so proud of them. And coming home, I had to take them off and walk home barefooted. They hurt me so bad. Well, I met my husband. I was on vacation over my aunt's. We went shopping and he owned the big grocery store. I thought he was a very wealthy man, but he wasn't. And so my aunt was buying vegetable and fruit, and he was waiting on my aunt. And he asked my aunt who I was, and my cousin, my aunt's son, worked for Louis. And so when we come home and my cousin come home from work, he said, Louis wants to take you out tonight. I never went out with anybody. And I said, oh, I don't want to go. And he said, you're going to go, you know. He insisted that I go. So I went. We went to the theater. And then after that, we went and stopped and it was a great big dish with all the ice cream. I don't know what they call it. And then he offered me a cigarette. And I says, I don't smoke. And that was it. We come home, and I was so mad at my cousin for making me go out. I was 17 in October, and 18 in November I got married. I was so naive about everything. I think going to the moon was a wonderful thing.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Columbia, this is Houston, AOS, over.
Houston, Columbia, Gain, over.
Roger, the EVA is progressing beautifully. They're setting up the flag now. I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
That's all right, I don't mind a bit.
They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
I never thought that anyone would be able to do that, and they did. We're in Idaho. She lived across the street from me. She was born in September, and I was born in October. So it's just about a month apart. My mother and her mother would get together with the kids. Of course, then I come to California. Then when she got married, she moved to San Francisco. So we've always been friends from childhood up. We did everything together. We were mischievous, and at night, we were kids, we'd always play out at summer nights. We'd be outside playing. All the kids on the block, you know, we'd get together. And right next door there was this girl. She made fudge one night, and she used to hang around with her sister, the oldest one. And I was hanging around with the youngest one. And we knew she made fudge, and she put it out to get cold. And Julie and I would go with a stick and stick her and grab that fudge. Another time we were going over the viaduct, they called it, where the train was going underneath, and the viaduct. And after school, Julie and I decided to go downtown. So we were going downtown, we had to go over the viaduct, and we were leaning over, both of us, looking at the train go by, and all that smoke from the train. We had black faces. We were friends until the day she died. So I guess I was in my 30s. We'd meet once a month. There were quite a few girls. And we called ourselves the Adamettes. And then we would have parties, great big parties. And I mean, we had parties, believe me. I was the president one year. I would drive, or depending who else was from the city, if we go to Oakland, who would be driving and all of that. We had some wonderful times that way. Every time I look, I look at this geographic on TV, the animals, and I says, every animal on this earth, the colors, the plants, the trees. I said, how did they get that way? I said, God did every bit of that. I do have faith. Well, I never smoked, I never drank, and I worked hard all my life. I still do all my housework, everything. You won't find any nicks in my house. My greatest lesson was to care for everybody, especially the babies growing up and the older people. That to me means an awful lot. Never. I never thought I would make it to 100. And I can't believe I'm 100 today. My God, what a life I had. And I guess that's what kept me going. I said God was with me all the way.